Okay, part 2. You got to leave those people where Jesus flung them. Because they are in a relationship with their own God. And they are going to figure it out, or they're not going to figure it out. But by you participating in it and doing it, cleaning it up, fixing, lying about it, being dishonest and not communicating is lying. Withholding information is lying. So sometimes you just got to leave them. Their God knows where they're at. And they need to figure out how to find their God and build a relationship with their God. Okay. The story about the mom, the daughter, and the son-in-law. Okay, so there's this mom. And the mom grew up in a small town. And she married somebody from high school. And had a baby boy. And then within like a year or so, had another child, a baby girl. And her husband cheated on her. And then she eventually left him. And, continued raising her kids and whatever else. But, continued on having a life and working and blah, 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 blah. So then there's the daughter. The daughter does the exact same thing. The daughter grows up in the same small town. She marries a guy basically in high school. Soon after, has a baby boy. And right after that, within like a year, 2 years, year and a half, has a baby girl. And that's kind of like where we're at in the story now. Now, the son-in-law, or the husband of the daughter, comes from a family where his father was the only, financial support, no matter how many hours he had to work, no matter how many hours, what he had to do in order to make that money. So the son-in-law and the husband of the daughter has hit that position now. Now the son-in-law's dad also went on to cheat on the mother. So the father of the son-in-law became a pretty big cheater. And at some points, stayed married to the son-in-law's mother. But at a lot of points, was kind of open about it, the fact that he was cheating. And so much so that the mother would have emotional breakdowns when she would drink and throw accusations around and, kind of let it slip out about what, her husband was doing, the father of the son-in-law. So you have this crazy history. You see this? So you have the mom who married somebody right out of high school, who she ended up having 2 children with back-to-back, a son and a daughter. And her husband cheated on her, and that was it. She went out on her own and got a divorce. And then her daughter does the same thing. She marries a guy pretty much, in high school and has a son and a daughter right after that, infant. And she's married to a guy who is the sole financial provider, no matter what kind of, he's now, working all kinds of hours, and he's the sole provider, just like his father. And that, his father became a cheater, a prolific cheater against the mother, even though the mother's still married. And so we know what the end of the beginning is going to be. Right? Because the story starts with the mother and marrying somebody right out of high school that was a cheater, who cheated on her. And then the daughter marrying somebody who also has a design to be a prolific cheater, because that's what his father did to his mother. So you can see where the story is going to end. because of how it began. And it began generations before that. Probably began with the grandmother of the mother. I mean, the mother of the mother, the grandmother of the daughter. Could even go back further. And so it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how things are going to end. Seeing the end in the beginning. So here it's starting, and here's the story, and the story is exactly the same. Over and over again. Not only just in your life, but in the whole family structure in their life. Because you're not doing anything different, and you're not doing anything new. You're just following along and living out the same story and the same themes along the way. It just blows me away. And that's true. All that stuff I said about the mom, the daughter, and the son-in-law are all completely true. And, it just the other day I was thinking about that, how do you think it is going to come out? Because they're just going along doing the same thing that their, parents have done, and it's going to end up the same. Right? So the end is already mapped out. The end has already been decided. The end is already figured out. All right, everybody. I hope this, I hope that some of these things help people to kind of snap out. So you got to snap out of the, catatonic mind control zombie states that you're living in, because things are not okay and things are not fine, and they're not gonna be unless you get a fire lit under your own ass and start getting it together and making some abrupt choices. All right. Have a great day. Conscious of Economics and Urban Farm Project, Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, over and out.